Hi, my name is Madeline Wamsley, and this is my activism activity video for Women and Gender Studies, Spring 2020, Front Range Community College. Let's go. So for this class, we had to pick a book to read and review, and it had to be related to feminisms in some way. So I chose this book off the book list. It's called The Seed. Infertility is a feminist issue by Alexandra Kimball, and I will put this down in the comments below. I chose this book because I myself suffered the loss of my firstborn, Cooper. She was born 23 weeks gestation, and just, I don't know what my body did, but it couldn't hold the pregnancy anymore. She lived for 13 minutes and she passed away. And about a year and a half after that, for about 2 years after that, I actually experienced 3 miscarriages. I have a big diagnosis with infertility yet myself, but that is something that I do actually kind of fear for when I do start actually trying to have a baby again. So as I'm learning about women and gender studies, I realize how many different groups of women have been marginalized through each wave of feminism, and that is literally everybody but the straight white women, women of color, women of low economic status, LGBTQ plus women, all marginalized from feminism from the first wave and the second wave. The third wave is doing a little bit better about the inclusivity, but with each wave, they're going to fail in some aspect, and that's for the next wave to pick up on. One of the biggest things that has been marginalized ever since the first wave is infertile women. So just picture this, right? Me and you are in the same room. You're married. You have 3 healthy babies. Let's just say they're 3, 2, and 1 years old. No complications with your pregnancy whatsoever. We meet at a Starbucks or something and we hit it off and we're talking. You ask me if I have kids. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you I do, but not with me. She would have been 3. Her name is Cooper. What's your reaction going to be? Because this is a reaction I've gotten, right? I just tell them I've lost a baby. Haven't even gotten to 3 miscarriages. No, no, no. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't even imagine. And it's that sympathetic, oh, I'm so sorry, like, I feel so bad, until it's like, okay, well, I got a lot to do, and these kids are going crazy, so we're gonna go. Bye, nice to meet you. That happens way too often. And it has happened to Alexandra Kimball in this book. It's almost like, to the women who have lost, to the women who cannot conceive, we are seeing like our barrenness is contagious. Women don't want to talk about the infertility because it's scary. It's scary thinking of the thought that you might not be able to have a child. It's scary thinking that someone else might not be able to have a child. Because what is a woman, right? Like, what you break it down to biological, what is the sole purpose of a woman and a man? For a man, it's to get the woman pregnant. It's to procreate. It's to create life. And if you are a woman, and one thing you can't do is create life or sustain life long enough inside you to bring it into this world, are you really a woman? That's something that Alexandra touches base on, which I think is so super important. This isn't like the best, this isn't compared to any kind of TED Talk that will ever be given, but as I'm reading this book and realizing that there is, it's called Finrage, and I think it's the Feminism International, um, the Feminist International Network of Resistance to Reproductive and Genetic Engineering. Finrage, formed in the 80s or something like that. Basically, they think that any sort of way to conceive a child that is not natural is dangerous to women, which it is. IVF, in vitro fertilization, very dangerous to women. Taking hormones can come with unbelievable side effects. or surrogacy that can cause not only like emotional stuff to the parents who are wanting the baby, but for the woman who is actually carrying the baby to term, that can screw her up too. Dangerous psychological, all that kind of stuff. But what else are these infertile people supposed to do? What else do you want them to try? Like, if you're going to say, hey, IVF is bad, hormones are bad, stay away from them, what do you want this woman to do who's so desperate to want a child, who's putting in so much work to be able just to try to even hope to conceive their own baby? Even people with situational infertility, that is like LGBTQ plus couples, single men or single women who want to have a child, or people with chronic illnesses all have situational infertility. They cannot conceive on their own. So what are they supposed to do when nobody will fight for them? When there's so many people fighting against them, so many people not wanting them to do the possible one thing that can result in them having a baby, what are they supposed to do? I feel like infertile women have been around since for so long. For the feminist movement not to recognize this and include the fertility struggle within the reproductive rights, it makes me so angry. How can you deny someone's right to reproduce when you're fighting for reproductive rights? When you're fighting for the right to not want to get pregnant, but what about the people that do? I guess it's just something to think about. Just a little insight for your mind, I guess. Think about how infertility affects you. Do you have a family member who's ever struggled to get pregnant? Have you ever struggled to get pregnant? Do you know anybody who's lost a child? How does that affect you? It doesn't affect you, but it affects them. So maybe send him a message, let him know you're thinking about him. Maybe don't unfriend that person on Facebook just because they're posting about the child that they lost. Maybe try to be there for them. Maybe try to be there for other infertile women you don't know, because you have no idea how hard it is to truly feel like a woman when you can't even do the one thing that your body was made to do. Anyway, thank you for watching. I really enjoyed reading this book and exploring this topic, and I hope you enjoyed this video, even though I am just a small college student with little to none public speaking experience, or videotaping myself experience. Anyway, thanks again, and if you're any of my friends or family watching this, thank you for watching this all the way through to the end. It really means a lot. Please leave a comment if you have any questions, or if I didn't touch on something that maybe I shouldn't have, or maybe you have additional insight to provide. Because, like I said, I've only taken one college women gender studies class and read this book and done a little bit of research, but there's always more to know and more to understand and more to learn. So, thanks again.